Mr. Cohen is wrong. Canada's not the most free country in the world, young people. America is the greatest nation in the world. We are the most free, most successful, most powerful nation because finally now we've tried to live up to the ideals articulated in the Declaration of Independence, and finally now the Supreme Court, after 50 years, nearly 50 years of an atrocity, has brought us back to that truth. Brought us back to that truth. It's my time. I will not yield, Mr. Cohen, because your comments are absurd. This hearing is absurd. Your comments are absurd. This hearing.
That clip just detonated the Democrat fairy tale. While one side is busy calling Canada the gold standard and pretending America is broken, the Republican senator came in swinging with the truth. The first freedom is the right to be born. Democrats don't want to debate that, so they try to shout it down. If you want to see how their whole agenda just got exposed, smash like, subscribe, and buckle up. Let's watch the full clip before I give you the full breakdown.
It's Mr. Johnson's time, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you. This hearing is absurd. The Democrat majority has called us here for this hearing entitled "The Threat to Individual Freedoms in a Post-Roe World." Come on. The first inalienable individual freedom is the right to be born. It's the right to life. We boldly declared that in our nation's birth certificate. America should continue to uphold the sanctity of human life, and state and local and federal government officials have a duty, a constitutional responsibility to protect that fundamental right. All life is precious, and there is an inherent compelling interest in protecting unborn children because they are unable to protect themselves. But the radical advocates of abortion are now completely unhinged, and they are seeking to trample on the individual freedoms of all those who disagree with them. Over the weekend, the left-wing activist group Shut Down D.C. offered $200 bounties for public sightings of Supreme Court justices they disagree with. It's obvious the point of their tweet and all the attention they were trying to gather there is to get people to harass conservative justices when they're out in public. They don't have any individual freedoms. Hey, man, they're fair game. Then Senator Elizabeth Warren, I mean, she is completely unhinged now. She said pro-life pregnancy centers should be shut down all around the country. It's appalling for her to say that. There are 2,700 pregnancy centers all around this country, all 50 states. They're supported by over 10,000 licensed medical professionals. They annually serve approximately 2 million women and men. I was legal counsel for many of these pregnancy centers. I can tell you from my own experience, they do exceptional, critical work. Why would anybody want to shut down pregnancy centers that exist to provide counseling, care, aid, and comfort to struggling mothers who just want to have their babies? It defies logic, but the answer is simple. Their extreme agenda demands it. And speaking of extreme agendas, let me tell you what my friends on the other side of the aisle are for, okay? They filed H.R. 8296 in this Congress. They call it the Women's Health Protection Act of 2022. We call it the Abortion on Demand Until Birth Act. You don't know why? Because it's extreme. It would create a national standard to allow for abortions for unborn children for any reason at any stage of pregnancy up until birth. Read the bill. That's not a talking point. It allows for discriminatory abortions on the basis of the baby's sex, race, and disability. It would override pro-life laws and prohibit states from enacting legislation that protects unborn children, such as protections for babies with Down syndrome and other disabilities. It removes common sense protections for women and children. For example, the Abortion on Demand Until Birth Act, the Democrats' bill, would not allow states to enact laws to ensure parental involvement for minors. Laws to protect women from coercion. They don't care. The agenda demands, the zeal for this demands that they override all that. Their bill includes vague language that could also weaken conscience protections for medical professionals and limit their right to refuse to participate in an abortion. You think that they're not all on board for this? Guess what? On September 24th of last year, all but one Democrat in the House of Representatives voted on an almost identical bill. Go look it up, H.R. 3755. Abortion on demand until birth. That's what this agenda demands. Ms. Foster said it so well earlier. You mentioned this agenda begins with dehumanizing the unborn child. I just have a minute left, but in my experience, my colleagues here are not able to acknowledge that what is inside the mother's womb is actually a child. In your work and your experience, has that been yours as well?
It has been.
There's a reason, I think, that they won't acknowledge that it's a child, because then it allows them to pursue this radical abortion on demand until birth. I believe, and this is for all the young people here and those watching, I believe if you can, in this debate, if you can take people to the medical reality of the humanity of the unborn child, we win. This is a pro-life country, increasingly so, because we have medical technology. We have 4D ultrasounds. No one can lie to us anymore and tell us it's a blob of tissue, that it's just a clump of cells. This is a baby. At 6 weeks, it has a heartbeat. At 15 weeks, it can feel pain, suck its thumb. It has eyebrows, lips, nose, and the whole thing. Look at the reality, folks. Do not let them obscure the facts. We're a pro-life country. We should be. I'm out of time. I yield back.
That was a constitutional and moral beatdown, and it was long overdue. The Republican senator didn't just win that exchange. He bulldozed through the entire fake narrative Democrats keep selling. They show up to a hearing called The Threat to Individual Freedoms, and then pretend the most basic freedom of all, the right to be born, doesn't even exist. That's not ignorance, that's deliberate erasure. And while they're lecturing everyone about democracy, their activist allies are out there literally putting bounties on Supreme Court justices like some kind of dystopian hit list. That tells you everything about how much they actually care about freedom. If you disagree with them, you're fair game. Harassment, intimidation, and silencing are suddenly just fine as long as it's aimed at conservatives. Then comes the cherry on top, shutting down pregnancy centers. These places help millions of women, offer medical care, counseling, and support for mothers who want to have their babies. But because they don't fit the abortion industrial complex, Democrats want them gone. Not debated, not regulated, erased. That's what radicalism actually looks like. And don't let them hide behind cute bill names either. The so-called Women's Health Protection Act is abortion on demand until birth, full stop. Any reason, any stage, even allowing abortions based on the baby's sex, race, or disability. They'd wipe out parental consent laws, conscience protections for doctors, and every state law that tries to protect unborn children. Almost every Democrat voted for it. That's not a fringe position. That's their platform. The senator was dead right when he said the whole thing starts with dehumanizing the unborn. If they admitted it's a child, their whole argument collapses. That's why they pretend it's just a clump of cells, even when 4D ultrasounds show a baby with a heartbeat, a face, and the ability to feel pain. Science didn't move left. Reality didn't move left. The truth just caught up with them. This wasn't just a speech. It was a warning. America is a pro-life country because we can see what's actually happening now, and no amount of activist spin can erase it. The Republican senator didn't yield an inch, and neither should anyone who still believes the first right is the right to live.